all right. Thank you so much, everybody. Welcome back. Sorry about those technical giggles there in the first attempt at this. We are back into our 18-minute qualifying, and we have our first drivers starting to leave the pits. That Haas out first, followed by the Racing Point, and quite a few unsafe releases as everybody tries to get out onto the track. Why don't we head along with the Haas first? Let's see what they can do. They've got the Racing Point right behind them, so maybe I believe that's Rossi's looking for a tow. Oh, Rossi's got in front. We'll go overhead and switch over to him. Or I apologize. Daniel is now in front. He must have been antsy to get out there. I think that's why we had to restart. I don't think he was in the...
So I believe the horse is just left it in.
So we might have more issues going on, but we'll continue to go through this qualifying for now. And Ross has said in the chat that he can't race.
Oh, that is very disappointing.
His screen freezes all the time.
He's qualified from session, although he cannot race, so it's really bad for Rossi. We must continue.
But we'll head on with his teammate here as he comes around the last two corners here, the famous banked corner of Netherlands, and down the preliminary pit straight. One of the only non-banked corners on the track, that first corner, as they head up to the second of the semicircle turns. I hate to call them hairpins. They're not quite tight enough to call them hairpins. What do you say about that, Connor? Are those hairpin style turns we see around this track, or are they just parabolic semicircles?
Yeah. Well, just to let you know, Sam Cole 007, I believe, just joined the session, just to let you guys know.
Oh, perfect. And looks like Daniel hit a braking styrofoam there, so it's likely this lap will be uncompetitive for him.
Looks like that Haas is the first one to get underway. Looks like he's just going to go into turn 4. So he's still coming.
Daniel has
stick
the
So the Haas
wrong with Biblical PC. Is that who you're with right now?
Nah, I'm with Staining Gem, who's currently of course, but Abs Jar just gets a 1 minute 9.007 to get to P1.
In our first attempt at a stream, we saw B37 Weiss, who's not in this section. Oh, there he is. He is actually. He's in third. He got a 1:08. Faster than anybody in the Tier 2 race from yesterday. We'll see if he can go ahead and best ABS Jarv's time of a 1:09, basically flat. Staining Gem puts up a 1:09.346.
As FIFA Legends just got the fastest sector 1 and 2 and is now coming in sector 3. Turn 11 now. He's going to approach turn 12. He's going to approach turn 13 now. He's probably going to get DRS. Yes, we do. He's going to cross over for his lap time.
1:09.589 from FIFA Legend. Not going to be enough to move him up into the first 3 rows to start the race.
Gets fastest sector 1 and 2, but of course doesn't find the pace in sector 3.
That last semicircle corner I find to be pretty difficult. Banking on that, if you don't get it right, you're just slow all the way through, and you can lose about 1.5 seconds at least. When I've done some laps around here myself, though I'm not nearly as competitive as some of these guys, I'm sure. He's off the track, so we'll go ahead and check in with actually Immortal 12, who's on an out lap. We'll see if we can follow along with them as they try to put up their first lap time.
If you didn't watch last week's race, Immortal was the winner of last race at Bahrain. As Charlie gets fastest sector 2. He's now in sector 3 as he approaches turn 12. I believe he just got invalidated lap. And he goes into the pits. bit disappointed for him, of course, for the Renault team. Martin is going to start his lap.
First turn, Tarzan Bach. You'll forgive my pronunciation of some of these Dutch words, but I'll give it a try throughout this session. And end up to turn 5 and then 6 and subsequently 7 after that. This section of the track is pretty much all out with how that banking works. Really an enjoyable, smooth ride if you get it just right. Around Marbelbach at the bottom end of the track, and then Rennelbach named after the car that we're seeing go around, driven by Immortal 12. He's got a bit of a drift, so it's possible this lap time won't be that competitive, but perhaps he can recover as he comes up to turn 12 and then around the Audi S. Last 2 corners here for Immortal 12. Let's see if he can get at least in the top 10 lap times after that drift. Around the final banked corner, down the pit straight.
He's not going to get enough
Oh, he's
speed.
just going to dive into the pits. Back-to-back dives into the pits by the Renaults.
He is going to be a bit annoyed as we are. This is our second time we started the session as last time. He was in P1. Actually, first time then Jarv, who won in at 8.5, but we had to restart the session. It was disappointing. But I haven't set a time yet. As Danny crosses over and goes up to P8 with 1 minute 9.820.
We'll head on board with Josh Owen, who's on his out lap as he heads down the pit straight and onto a flying lap, trying to set a time. Him and Sam Cole both not with any times yet. Possible they might be able to move up into some competitive times, but not looking like the most solid lap from Josh Owen so far. He's still got plenty of time though. The session's not even half over. They will probably make some adjustments, come back out if they haven't already. Does put up a fastest sector too though, so nice recovery after a somewhat sloppy first couple turns. Sorry. He puts up a fastest sector 1 actually, so it was a pretty solid recovery from him overall.
Doesn't get faster sector 2 though. It's
No,
only
it does
approached
not.
turn 11 and now it's going to approach the final 2 corners, which is turn 12 and 13.
He moves up into 7th and will head down to Sam Cole real quick as he tries to finish up his lap. Didn't look like the most solid exit of the Audi S, but could be nice and quick through here. Jarv has been disqualified from the session for blocking the pit lane. And Sam Cole with a new fastest time. A best in sectors 2 and 3 from him. Wow.
That's very impressive.
Now we're already down into the 108.5, so much faster than the Tier 2 race that you commentated yesterday, Connor.
Yes, indeed. P1 to 10, in my opinion, is actually very close. But you never know. It's only qualifying, but it comes down to actual race. As Weezy actually goes into P2, which I just noticed. And is now
A couple
in P2.
1.86s in, 108.6s in. I'm finishing up with one more flying lap from Sam Cole, see if he can possibly improve on that time. Nope, he spins off, and that will see him ghosted in Biblical PC, moving up to try to improve his time, finishing up the last corner here of Zandorn, and he will actually dive into the pits. Who should we check in with? Who do we want to see, Connor?
Oh, currently I am with Chile, who did get driver of the day after a solid race. But I do.
Wow.
But he's not having the best lap after just being stuck in a bit of traffic, which I'm going to move on to him as he's just approached in turn 11, turn 12, sorry, in 1/8. So I'm going to move on to SiNiDe, who's currently is outlapping the Haas. He's incoming to sector 2 as turning to turn 8 and 9. As currently Josh E. Owen is currently P9, who is actually over on the championship standings, as he's currently level with Immortal on 25 points each, after I believe Josh E. Owen did not make the top 10 last week after the collision on Barron on the first corner. As the championship standings is Mercedes on top with Alfa Romeo, just 2 points behind Mercedes and on.
I am on board with Staining Gem as he comes around into Sector 2 of this beautiful Netherland track. It's looking like he is really trying to improve on his 7th place standing. Let's see if he can get maybe above AB Bloken or even GSR Chile, like you said, the driver of the day previously. We've heard some possible weather issues are on the horizon. Connor, do you want to talk about the meteorological report you've seen?
Yeah, I've seen that there's going to be a bit of rain, I believe, in this race, which could be very interesting on this track because this track is made for just being fast, so this could change the style and strategies of the drivers today, as currently in qualifying it is very, very tight. But we are looking forward to it indeed.
I am on with Jet Belly now on a flying lap with just under 5 minutes remaining here in qualifying. He's going to try to improve and move up into at least to the top 10, into the points to start the race. We only have 16 drivers, so I imagine most of these drivers could potentially end up with points if we have any disqualifications or any crashes to take anybody out. But Jet Belly, as he comes up and approaches Sector 2 through that glorious Sector 1, that very smooth Sector 1, nice tight line through there. Oh, it'll be a spin for him, and that won't be a lap we'll see much improvement time on at all. But I think we should probably go check in with B37 Weeze, who's on an out lap, just approaching turn 12 and out of the Audi S. Let's see if he can improve, maybe get that 0.05 seconds he needs to get ahead of Sam Cole as he goes on this flying lap with 4 minutes to remain.
I'm starting to question Immortal, who was the last week's winner, hasn't set a lap time yet. I believe he just went for the one lap. But it's very interesting strategy by him. We've got the P14, of course, that hasn't set a lap. It's going to be interesting.
I have to wonder if that's a bit of confidence from him, or if he's just having some technical issues on his end that haven't allowed him to set a qualifying lap yet. B37 Weeze is looking very, very smooth on this lap. I don't see why he shouldn't possibly improve on his time, maybe get ahead of Sam Cole. But I have been wrong before, as we have seen multiple people spin in this final part of Sector 2 and the beginning of Sector 3.
As we was talking about before about Immortals, as if you didn't know, we do have a YouTube channel, Tribune Racing League, and he has shown actually a hot lap. All the Netherlands dragons got into the 1:08, as Weezy gets the fastest lap for 1:08.503. What a lap!
Yeah, beautiful lap by him. I guess we better check in with Biblical PC as well as he comes up to Sector 3. Going to see if he can improve on his time in that Williams. Not something you generally hear around F1, but we do play with equal equipment here in Tribune Racing League. Just about 2.5 minutes remaining, so Biblical PC will need to put up a very solid lap as he comes around this final turn. Jet Belly 1 has retired from the session, probably something to do with that crash that we saw earlier. Let's head on with Biblical PC coming around the first turn. See a lot of people on an outlap right now. Everybody below third position just about. So should be quite a few people trying to improve, as you would expect, right here with a minute and a half left to qualify. Everybody will get one last attempt at a lap. And Immortal 12 does finally head out on his outlap. After we finish up with Biblical PC here trying to improve on his time, we will go over to Immortal 12 and see if his strategy of just one lap will work for him. We do have pretty strict corner cutting rules in this league, so I will kind of be surprised if he gets that after that approach into turn 12. He may have an invalidated lap time, but we will see.
Pickable does get invalidated lap time after just going a bit off track on to 12 and 13.
All right, well then we'll head down to Immortal 12. He has one shot at this. Let's see if it'll work. If he's that good.
And here he goes. Starts his lap off. It's pretty cool to spin in sector 2. The McLaren just retired from the session, so does Weezer. Back here with the Immortal. And to get fast in sector 2 as he comes up to turn 11. Watches turn 12. Now he's gonna push turn 13. Just one lap. Is he gonna make it count? And it does.
Effortlessly. Wow. A quarter of a second ahead of Immortal 12. I honestly cannot believe that.
I am amazed too. That's qualifying is just gonna round up, guys. Other drivers just gonna finish their lap times off.
And we have just under 2 seconds separating Immortal 12 and Jet Belly 1.
And
should be pretty competitive.
And Jelly just going
apart from
invalidated lap and all. Final lap goes a bit wide on sector 3, I believe.
Well, that'll do it. That'll see everybody having put up a lap time for qualifying. Our starting grid for the race will be Immortal 12 in the Renault in 1, B37 Weeze is AlphaTauri in 2nd, the Mercedes of Sam Cole in 3rd. I'll provide you with the rest of the lineup here once we see our official timesheets. Sam Cole will be followed up by Biblical PC in the Williams. Immortal 12's teammate GSR Chili will be in 5th. A.B. Woken, the other Williams, in 6th, followed by Josh Owens in the Mercedes. So we've got both Reynolds, both Williams, and both Mercedes in the top 7. The Red Bull of PB715 in 8, both McLarens in 9 and 10, followed by the Haas of Staining Gem, the FIFA legend and his Alfa Romeo in 12, Daniels Racing Point in 13, and Jet Belly in 14th. Oh, and Jarve in 15th and Rossi in 16th, but they were both disqualified. Any predictions as we head into this race, Connor?
Oh, sorry, I just had to quickly sort something out for my dad.
That's all good.
As we just seen, one lap by Immortal seems very confident, so I'm gonna think he's gonna win it after a solid lap. But I'm gonna think Sam Cole is gonna have a good race after being actually consistent with his lap times.
Yeah, confidence is one thing, but cockiness is another when it comes to Immortal 12. So we'll see if his lack of practice, I don't know if he's been warming up before this race, but it's possible with all the other spins we saw, especially if there's rain around here, that he might not be looking so hot should he get too comfortable. But we'll see how it goes for him. I think you're probably right on Sam Cole. Really impressive lap times. I mean, just back-to-back improvement from him across qualifying. So I think his race pace is going to be solid. But you can't count out Biblical PC. I definitely wouldn't count out EDMG. I've seen some impressive comebacks from him before. So in the rain, we'll see how he does.
Formation like 36 laps. Going to be very interesting, of course.
A little bit of a quick start, it looked like there from the Mercedes as he has to go ahead and head back into third. It's looking pretty clear, so, you know, no real determination on rain. I've just heard things might be on the horizon. It might just be a brief shower, so it might not even require them switching over to intermediate tires, but it will make things interesting for sure, especially if there's any sort of safety cars around here. I mean, pretty low lap times compared to some other circuits.
We did have a couple of virtual safety cars yesterday, but not actual safety cars.
With some of the disqualifications I saw in qualifying, just, you know, parking in different parts of the track, it's possible, but no real determinations as to how often safety cars actually come out in F1 2020 compared to the virtual safety car. It's obviously no need for marshals and clearing of cars in a virtual setting.
But we did have one disqualification yesterday, which was my friend, which texted me during the race that his controller batteries died, which was actually quite funny, but very upset for him. And that was only on the first corner of the race. Hopefully we don't get any DNF or disqualifications this race. Although turn 1 will be very interesting.
Yeah, turn 1 is no joke when it comes to trying to get all of these racers around that first corner. It's not quite as tight as Spa, but it's got some pretty similar action in terms of possible crashes that can occur.
This gem's just gonna come in into the grid.
And we are racing. We are on board immediately with Immortal 12. No issues through there. Let's go ahead and check the rest of the drivers, though, as they come through there. Doesn't seem to be any issues. Everybody seems to have come away cleanly. I'm having a bit of a timing issue on my side of things. It's looking like Jet Belly is in first, but clearly that is not the case. The AlphaTauri of B37 Weeze is still in second with Sam Cole in third. We've had a yellow flag in Sector 1, so we'll see how that all sorts out. Looks to be one of the Alfa Romeos.
No, it's actually a Ferrari.
Oh, it's a Ferrari. My apologies.
Yes, as I did have difficulties with the leaderboard in the first lap as it got mixed up, but it is Jack Bella who won, and just goes into the apex, so he just loses a bit more time. The immortal leading.
Pretty much the exact same order as we finish up our first lap. Immortal 12 has not pulled away yet, still has both Weeze and Sam Cole right behind him. Sam Cole is really right behind Weeze. We'll try to go over and head over to that battle more directly, and we'll be able to see Immortal 12 in front of him as well. Williams unfortunately fallen a little bit further back. They are about a second behind Sam Cole now, so it could just be a bit of a three-way battle up here at front all race, assuming Mortal 12 can't get away. Oh, and Sam Cole will make a move as B37 Weeze heads too far outside the track. And Sam Cole will attempt to hunt down Immortal 12 now. Already over a second behind him though, so it's possible he won't quite be able to catch him. We have a yellow flag in Sector 2. We'll see who that ends up
I believe
being.
it was one of the McLarens.
Seems to be one of the McLarens. Yes, EDMG, I believe. But he's recovered and is back onto the track. Immortal 12 putting the fastest lap time on the second lap, obviously, but Sam Cole is still right behind him. DRS has been enabled, so if he can get within a second, he can potentially catch up to him. He'll need to keep his race very clean. Obviously, Immortal 12 is a bit of a force to be reckoned with around this track.
Yeah, it definitely does, as he improves his lap by 4 seconds. So he's trying to push as far as he can. Give that Sam Cole that competition to battle him out for first place.
And we can see B37 Weeze is still right behind Sam Cole, about 3/4 of a second behind. Biblical PC is trying to make a move at some point there, but no action happening behind. EDMG has moved up in front of the McLaren back there from 14th to 13th, so they've switched positions.
Yes.
And Sam Cole has improved to within a second, so we'll see if DRS can help him out on this next lap.
Yes, I don't know if you just noticed, but McLaren did just spin again, or just watched a bit of a wheel spin in Sector 2. And that is how his teammates gone past him.
Sam Cole is running about a second there, so we'll move on to his onboard camera as he tries to make moves on Immortal 12. He made it look pretty easy around B37 Weeze, though Weeze had a little bit of an issue there. He went a bit wide. I don't know that Immortal 12 will make similar mistakes. Some of these half-circle turns can breed some pretty tight racing, especially on the inside line. Immortal 12 just clips the outer apex there and gets some dust, as does Sam Cole, as they really try to get ahead of B37 Weeze, almost a second behind at this point of the leaders. Yeah, that McLaren is all the way down in 16th now, so
He has picked it
not
for the
looking
mediums.
too hot. Oh, could be a good move. It's not looking like we'll see any rain, unfortunately. The new reports I'm seeing might not have any rain, so it could be a pretty straightforward race. We do still have almost 30 laps, or over 30 laps to go, though, so anything can happen, especially as it pertains to the track.
Looks like Big Hole is really catching up with Weezer. As both Williams are in a good place at the moment. Both inconsistent. AB broken.
We're on the baby broken actually right now, so that we can watch this three-way battle that you're calling out over the commentator thing here. We can still see Sam Cole a little bit ahead of them, so a little bit of action as well.
We get the first DNF, just to let you guys know, and it is the McLaren. As Jack Belly one just picked up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warning.
Already getting multiple warnings by the 5th lap. Not a solid performance from Jet Belly today so far. Who's now
FIFA Legend just...
FIFA Legend.
Sorry, my bad.
Oh, go ahead, please.
Yeah, FIFA Legend just picked up a 3-second time penalty.
We have Josh Owen in this four-way battle for third now.
If you didn't know, he is currently on level 2 with Immortal. He's leading in the championship standings.
Sam Cole has picked up a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. He must be really trying to keep up with Immortal 12 at this point. We do have a virtual safety flag.
Question is, are they going to pick the hards? That is my question, as a lot of Tier 2 drivers got earlier virtual and did pick the hards. So it's going to be interesting what their strategy is. The Tier 1 drivers.
Could pit for the hards earlier and then head on to the softs late if need be, depending on how things sort out if there's another virtual safety car. Oh, he is not going to go ahead and pit. Sam Cole will stay out with Immortal 12. Virtual safety car has ended, and FIFA Legend is right behind Standing Gem, who's got about a 4-second gap ahead of him. So perhaps FIFA Legend will be able to move up into 8th position. We're missing Sam Cole, though, really trying to battle Immortal 12. As the gap grows with every car behind them.
I didn't notice, but 4 drivers have started on the mediums. As FIFA Legend gets the overtake done on Chile, who did just crash out on turn 9. Currently dropped places and is now in P13. As Jet Belly has pitted and he comes out the pits and he has pitted for the mediums.
Sam Cole making a move on Immortal 12. Immortal 12 will battle him back. Wheel-to-wheel action. Sam Cole is going to move ahead. Are they going to crash? No, it's just going to stay tight throughout. No penalties. Sam Cole does not make it happen. He is tight all the way through. My goodness, this is some wheel-to-wheel action through all of the course. Wow, Sam Cole pulls ahead of Immortal 12. Let's see if he can stay ahead. He will have to get quite a few seconds ahead with that 3-second penalty.
Sorry to interrupt, but there's a freeway on turn 5 coming up with FIFA Legend and SiNiDe. Very interesting here, as Jarvis just looking for the move and mistake.
Oh, quite the battle there, yes. Now that Sam Cole's ahead, we can check out some of this midfield action.
As FIFA Legend is now on the outside. Oh, and there's a crash. There's a crash between FIFA Legend and SiNiDe crashes out and is now out the race. As that could be a steward's bin as there has been a crash.
Yeah, I would definitely consider submitting a ticket to the admins after that. That was probably not in keeping with providing enough space for your fellow drivers out there on the track with all 4 of those.
As a couple have gone into the pits now.
Presumably a bit of damage after some of those battles. Immortal 12 is now 2 seconds behind Sam Cole as they all head through the pits as well. We are getting our pit stop window.
I just
want
moving
out onto the hards.
I just want to say this is very interesting strategy by Sam Cole. I do not know why he has gone onto the intermediate tyres. I don't know if there's actually rain coming, but he leads on the inters as P1 as Immortals and basically rest of them, apart from FIFA, Chilean, ED and Jet Belly have gone into mediums and hards compared to him, and the softs.
It's still looking very clear. I don't... the intermediate's the choice already? Was that a mistake from Sam Cole? What are you thinking there, Connor?
I'm looking at the track quite now. It does look a bit damp, but I do not believe it's the correct time to go into the intermediate tyres. But we'll have to see what happens. Saying Jeremy did crash his left the session. It does give the chance for the people that have gone to the hard tyres to get the temperatures into those tyres.
And Sam Cole is definitely struggling out there on those inters to get any sort of traction at all. I really have to wonder if that was a mistake, if he'll have to go back into the pits and try to recover. I mean, maybe he knows something that we don't, but I'm not seeing much rain out there personally.
He does, yes, yeah. He has spots.
That looks like it was a mistake to go into the pits for the inters.
A bit like a George Russell.
Absolutely.
Yes. It's Daniel. He's going to go off the hard after he has probably made a mistake, and he's going to go into the mediums, but I think it did get wing damage during the safety cars as Chile has pitted, and I believe he's going to go into the mediums.
Chile has actually retired from the session.
I did not see.
It's just been confirmed, I believe, as on my screen. So Sam Cole, right? We're looking at Sam Cole here. He's just made this mistake, presumably, pitting onto the inters instead of the hards. He's into the 11th position, out of the points. Are we going to see a recovery from Sam Cole here, Connor? Or is there time? I mean, we've got, 26 laps left. He was clearly even possibly better than Immortal 12 in terms of race pace. What are we looking like here?
I'm going to be honest, I think he does have the pace, but it depends how the other drivers react to this situation that he has made. He was leading. Accidentally goes on to intermediates, but he's out of the points so far, so I reckon it will have the placement and will get at least top 5, I reckon. But it will be hard due to consistency in qualifying due to close times, but I think he's going to do a good job.
Well, we had him move up into 10th place due to an issue with Ross. He's going to have to wait for the line, but he will try to cross that McLaren pretty much immediately as he comes into the first corner. Shouldn't be too much of an issue. Haven't seen a lot of consistency out of that McLaren that I predicted high hopes for, so not going to make it happen on those first couple turns.
Joshie Owens now in podium position. Really good for the Mercedes team.
We'll go ahead and check with the leaders now as we wait for Sam Cole to move up and possibly recover at the end of this race. B37 Weeze is going to be the guy, I think, at this point who has to make a move, right? Is it going to be possible? Does he have the skill compared to Immortal 12 based off of what we've seen so far?
Not yet. Still needs to try to be more confident and try a bit more pace-wise, but he did have a good race last week, as I believe if Legend might have a bit of wing damage as going into the back of AB broker.
There is a very different feel, I would say. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but a very different feel, especially on this track, in difference between the hards and the softs. So it's highly possible that some of these drivers are going to feel more confident or less confident after this pretty drastic tire change. I mean, it wasn't right from softs to mediums. To go for the hards is possibly going to breed some issues, a little bit less grip than they were experiencing in the first 10 laps.
Definitely will be. As there's been another safety car. Jet Belly crashed into the wall, disqualified from the session, parked in a dangerous location after going out on turn 1.
So we'll get another safety car restart here. No real change. I mean, Sam Cole has moved up in 8th. So he'll need to get ahead of FIFA Legend.
But yeah,
which I think is probable.
he has got a time penalty, so we cannot forget that. That could affect him. He has got a 3-second time penalty that he did pick up earlier in the race. So,
and you know, once you get one penalty, it's always likely you can get another after all those warnings. So it could end up being 6 seconds if he tries too hard to start passing people. That's a little bit dangerous. Mortal 12 has got to be feeling pretty good at this point, though, that Sam Cole made such a glaring error.
he will be very confident, as when the game came out after adding the Vietnam track and of course the Netherlands track, everybody was excited and probably just practiced loads of times, being very consistent on this track. So could be a lot of confidence by Immortal.
I'm a bit surprised we haven't seen the Williams maybe perform a bit better. They've just kind of been down there 4th, 5th, 6th place this whole time, and haven't quite been able to make a move. I mean, obviously ahead of the further back runners like FIFA and Rossi and Chile when they were still in, but you know, can they possibly recover in the second half of this race? Is it just a matter of the skill of the front drivers versus these, you know, maybe slightly less experienced, less practiced drivers?
Yeah, could affect them quite bad, but what I did like about AB at Bahrain, he was a very patient driver. And the way he reacted when Immortal didn't overtake him, he was still trying to battle him, and was very, very close, under 500 temps every time I went around in DRS. But on one corner he went off track. I don't know if Immortal actually knocked him off or just lost it, but he does have that fight and is very passionate, of course, driving in the Williams car.
Everybody trying to keep some heat in their tires as we continue to have this safety car. I imagine it should be in at the end of this lap. We'll have to wait for the official call from the race director. So just over 20 laps to go. We've got just about the whole grid on the hards. Are we going to need to see a second pit stop after these safety cars? Is there enough life in those tires long term to stay competitive to the end, or is somebody maybe going to try to pit late and go for the fastest lap and see what they can do?
They have currently, the people on the hards have done already around 3 to 4 laps. As we saw yesterday when I was commentating, of course, if you haven't seen, most of the amount of laps that I saw out hards was around 16 laps, so I do believe at least last 10 laps for the softs. Or if you are very confident and you've just been very consistent in hards, people just stay on the hards. But it'd be very interesting. As the safety car, I believe, is coming in this lap.
It is coming in this lap. We are going to go ahead and head on with Josh Owen in 3rd place here and see what sort of battle we can get out of these front 3 drivers on the restart. Josh Owen very, very eager to set off right behind B37 Weeze. He's going to pass him immediately on the restart and head down to hunt Immortal 12. So Josh Owen, the new Mercedes, taking on Immortal 12. That's clearly why they have been so well raced in the first couple races and ended up in the first place position so far.
As Jad does
Able to
with
recover like that.
P4, but they could respond very well and good, return back into his place, which is P4 for the Williams. driver. Jarvis just go off
Jarv
track.
heads out wide.
He's going to come back on the runway and he's going to come down quite a few positions here as he goes down into P11.
Sam Cole did not have the most successful of restarts there. But he's got a bit of battling in front of him that could take some people out. Jarv has gotten a 3-second time penalty. And B37 Weeze has retired from the session.
I am very, very gutted for him. But as we were talking about the Williams, now in a podium position with Bickable. As we were just thinking, do they have the pace to get a podium position?
Apparently you don't need the pace if you have the patience with already, what is that, 6 retirements at this point.
You know, I think, well, everybody will get some points today, as both Williams are 3rd and 4th. But you never know.
Jarv and Weeze both gone. Some front runners out of the race. It's looking like it could be a pretty easy victory for Immortal 12 in the end. It's funny, we were saying before the race we didn't know if there'd be any safety cars. Well, you know, we talked about the virtual safety car, but 3 safety cars in the first 16 laps here.
Well, we did see, I can't remember. Number one, I think it was Jemmy who went straight into the barrier after colliding with, I think, Chile, who was battling on turn 9 and went into the wall, but that will be investigated by the stewards if they have clicked it, of course, for video evidence.
Josh Owen just very eager, just ahead of the safety car at this point.
Ooh, Josh
Josh got a 5-second penalty for ignoring the yellow flag and left the session. What do you think's happened there, Connor?
Well, he has got disqualified now in the yellow flag. But when I was looking in chat yesterday, people were saying, oh, I don't understand why he got so many penalties, but got to be very patient, of course, as the Williams are looking in a very good position here.
Yep, I said they wouldn't, that they couldn't get onto the podium, and now they are both sitting onto the podium. So I keep jinxing this race. I said there'd be rain. There's no rain. I said the Williams wouldn't make it onto the podium. They're 2 and 3 now. Thought Sam Cole might do well. He's in 9th or 8th at this point. So who should we jinx next, Connor? Who do we want to see do well?
Well, what I saw last week from PB was quite impressive from the Red Bull driver. Sitting P6, no penalties, which is quite good for him, as the 2 drivers behind him have got penalties, so it's going to be interesting. As you said, EDMG, which you said he's a good driver, is sitting P5. Danny actually goes up to P4, and I believe did get a podium last week at Bahrain, if I can remember. It's trying to get those temperatures into the mediums. But Immortals is going to be very, very happy with today's performance so far, as he was on level points with Joshi Owen for the championship standings, 25 points apiece, and it's now, I'm going to be honest, he could get 26 points here, as he's currently holding the fastest lap and all. I don't know if they're counting the fastest lap for extra points, but the safety car is going to come in this lap.
I am checking in now. Oh, you know, let's watch this before I tell you what's been going on in the chat. It's devolved pretty bad. I'll give an update once we see how these Williams all sort out. Battling head to head here in the first couple turns. Ross is going to try to make a move on the inside. Wow. Or sorry, you're right. Danny, not Ross. I was too confused in the forcing the racing point Aston Martin that we're seeing around the track. Still going to be the McLarens in 2nd and 3rd. Why don't you call out these
Ooh,
first laps. Oh,
ooh, Danny goes off track. Ooh, he's going to be disappointed with that. As he was fourth and does... I believe he just loses grip, or he just goes a bit too off track and just goes off, and that's very disappointed from him. You never know with these players. I've got a question. If you were sitting in P3...
sorry, you disconnected there. What were you saying? If I was sitting... Oh. Perhaps now we've also got another disconnection. Sam Cole has moved up into fourth place.
I do apologise, my batteries did go off. I should have changed them before, but I was thinking that I had enough time. I apologise.
No worries. Alright. So I was just saying Sam Cole has moved up into fourth, obviously trying to recover. We're going to try to hunt down Immortal 12, but you were asking me if I was sitting in what was it, 3?
P3, if I saw last week and couple races recently, Sam Cole gets fastest sector 1, would you just allow your teammate to go in front of you all the way over faster than you? We saw that and it ended up where both teammates would collide.
I mean, if I'm Williams right now, I'm not gonna race at all. I don't be trying to. I mean, I get that there's a bit of pride. These guys aren't actually teammates in real life, but this is a long season, and they can still pick up a lot of points. And if you take yourselves out, I mean, they're the only team other than Racing Point who's sitting in 8th and 9th with both of their drivers still in. So you can pick up constructors points, you can start moving ahead in the championship that way, and 2nd and 3rd is a lot better than having to end up, 8th and 9th because you crash into your teammate on some sort of other restart. But this is not a real race league. I'm sure A.B. Woken is a very competitive guy and is gonna try to hunt down Biblical PC. I see no reason for him to be trying to hold up Sam Cole, who's on the faster tires. Not hold up, obviously. I mean, they're racing, but I think Sam Cole is going to probably get ahead of him pretty soon here. And so there might not even be much issue with the McLarens having to race each other. And, and then if you're A.B. Woken, sit right behind Sam Cole, because he's got that 3-second penalty. FIFA Legend is at 120.
As he goes down the inside Sam Cole, and just get the overtake and moves into podium position. A.B. Woken just loses a bit of wheel spin.
So at this point, with the race about half over, I'll give a kind of an update on what's happened to our disqualifies and our DNFs. Jet Belly, he was having issues with his wheel, so it was disconnecting. That's what saw him out, and maybe might explain some of his poor performance today. We also see Sam Cole did make the mistake of pitting for inters. Jard was very upset with Abu Brogan, understandably. I believe they had a bit of a collision. And Josh Owen, who we saw go ahead of the safety car and finally leave, he just got too frustrated. He just didn't like all the racing that was going on and decided he was done. So that explains his. And B37 Weeze only has to say, I knew it was going to be rough. Netherlands is never smooth.
Well, he's right. You can't really laugh, but you gotta hold it in sometimes. Are you okay?
Yeah, sorry about that. I apologize. Weird sound. Trying to suppress a cough. I apologize to the listeners out there. So we've got
Sam Cole gets the fastest lap with a 1:11.612 on the medium compound tires. He's currently P3.
He's going to try to hunt down Biblical PC. What were you saying there?
But if you think about it, he's still not in podium position. As AB is second behind him, and he has got a 3-second time. So currently now, he would be around P6, I believe, if I could do my calculations.
I believe he'd be looking at P6. Now, here's the issue that we've been presented with for the last 10 laps, is these consistent safety cars have not allowed for DRS to be enabled. So if we can get a bit of clean action now that we have some less drivers on the track, Sam Cole should be able to close that gap to biblical PC. He's within a second, and he'll just need to try to even possibly get ahead of Immortal 12 and try to eliminate some of that 3-second penalty, because you're right, he'll end up in 6th place, off the podium, if he can't at least get ahead of these guys. It's a shame that the game doesn't allow you to take your penalty in the pits, because he would be looking a lot better if he had just did it on his first pit stop, or any of his pit stops onto those inners.
Yeah. We did see quite a lot of 5-second penalties yesterday. We were taking pits, so he might have just got a bit wide. On turn 7. Turn 6 he was off track. But you see Pickable speeding up as I am spectating it. He is closing the gap quite quickly.
Oh yeah, it's definitely through a battle, and Sam Cole spins right off the track. He recovers quickly, but it's another spin from him, and he will end up in 8th place.
As he retires. That's really unfortunate.
So both the Mercedes now out of the race.
But we're leading the constructors, no.
So yeah, if you're Williams, I mean, you gotta play this smart. I see Biblical PC going for that overtake on Immortal 12, really close, get ahead of him. But if you're Williams, you gotta play this smart. We're in the beginning of the seasons, and there's still plenty of time to go. If I may be Wogan, take the points. This has obviously been a very difficult race for everybody, and with the attrition rate, we could only see 5 people finish this race.
I do agree with you there. Cult track, of course, we don't know what to expect.
I'm a bit lost for words with just how many people we've seen retired from this race. A lot of good-looking lap times to start out. And the only person besides the Williams who I think has put up a commendable performance has got to be Immortal 12, through and through. 1 lap qualifying, has led just about every lap of the race, at least the ones outside of the safety car, and he's got to just finish it out with 10 laps to go.
He does, but we do have Spain next, so that could be more of an interesting race than this current one. I thought it's actually been a very good race due to the consistency with the lap times. Pickle is falling behind the Immortals.
And the racing points just 30 seconds behind everybody else.
Well, don't you forget, Rossi is in AI mode.
That's right. So what's Daniel's excuse?
Well, we can't be that tight to him because he did fall behind last week and did get quite a few more points than before after he was outside the top 10 early on in the race. He came back.
I believe he does have some technical difficulties on his end as well, but you're saying he came back
and got some decent amount of points and all.
Just from finishing the race, he'll be in the points today, which is better than half of the grid. So we've got EDM here. He's managed to stay clean throughout. Started just outside the points, I believe, and now, or just inside the points, and now he's in 4th, right behind AB Wilson, the only person looking to still be kind of competitively racing anybody at this point within the second mark. So DRS could mean he'll move up into the podium positions. See if this battle gets tighter here in these final 10 laps. 9 laps.
He's gonna run out of ERS, I do believe. But I felt bad for him last week personally at Bahrain. He did struggle, got a couple of penalties, not being his game week mood, but as came in today's race, currently P4 is having a really good race. He is actually just down AB. As Danny has left the session, what do you think of that? Do you think it's just due to frustration?
Frustration, technical difficulties. I'll check the
Discord.
Danny literally just said into the chat, Tier 2 is way better in racing than Tier 1. So, yeah, I would say he's a bit upset. Sam Cole is very upset with AB Bogan, by the way. I don't need to repeat what he said, but not very happy with how that all sorted out.
Well, I'll have to look at that later, or I might have a quick look now, but he's angry. What?
As somebody else said, this is Magello levels of DNFs. So tough race for sure. I mean, it's a track a lot of these drivers, haven't ever experienced before this year. You've got the classics like Monaco and Spa, and the 20 others that are basically on the calendar every year. And these guys didn't get to see the actual racing line of any of the professional drivers. AB Bloken picks up a 3-second time penalty, by the way, for multiple warnings. So he'll finish off the podium with EDMG. I mean, I can't doubt or can't fault any of these drivers for not being as experienced, but I have to say the overall performance from most of these drivers has been pretty lackluster, being completely honest.
I have just seen the chat, and yes, I'm not going to repeat any of the comments that have been made, like you have already said. But it's like some people are very, very frustrated as the model gets across this lap.
And EDMG moves up into third as AB Bloken heads into the pits.
So I believe he's going to pick 4. Yeah, he's going to pick the softs and new front wing, so that's going to take a bit longer than expected.
But he's going to be ahead of the Racing Points, who have both retired or on AI or whatever is going on with them. And, end up basically in what is the last place of the actual drivers. But he's going to be on the softs. He's only 11 seconds behind the Red Bull of PB715, so you should be able to catch him. Already seems to be. He's cut that gap down to 6.5 seconds. So, easily move up into 5th place.
I've got a quick question.
If he can... Go ahead, yeah.
19 laps already done on the hard tyres for the top 2. Do you think they're going to lose a lot of tyre grip in the last couple of laps coming up?
It's possible. I wouldn't be surprised if either of them maybe react and some of these drivers decide. I mean, you kind of can't because EDMG's on the mediums that he pitted for. And obviously Immortal 12 continues to put up fastest laps, so now that there's a little bit less action, he's clearly coming alive. But Biblical PC, he's just going to have to make it work, I think, at this point. I don't know why EDMG hasn't been able to get up and close that gap. A little bit of a lock up there, so it may just be he's having a little bit of fatigue late in this race, but...
Yeah, but at the moment, he is sitting comfortable as FIFA Legend has got anyways. So he might be just taking his time or just being very patient with Bickable. See if he makes a mistake and just be very aggressive and try make him mess up.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to ever say this, I don't want to discourage racing, but just stay alive at this point, right? Like, everybody should just try to finish the race out and keep away from each other, for lack of a better way to put it, unless they've got DRS. It seems they're all starting to spread out. They're clearly starting to be a little bit more concerned and just want to finish it out. And I don't foresee A.B. Bloken being able to come back at all. There's not enough time at this point. Immortal puts up a third fastest lap in a row. So he's pulling away from Biblical PC. And EDMG is now 2 seconds behind Biblical PC as well. So
Well, I do agree.
ultimately, pretty frustrating end of the race, but go ahead.
Yeah, I do agree with you. As you were saying, like, just take the points. You might as well. Oh, we have seen, and we've both looked in chat, everybody is frustrated, but you got to take the points at the moment now.
Now, A.B. Bloken did just put up a fastest time on those new softs. He put up a 1:0 or a 1:10 flat basically, and the gap is still 8 seconds behind PB, with a 3-second penalty, with 5 laps to go. So I don't know that decision to pit for the softs was the right course of action. I mean, maybe he needed to get that new wing, right? You've driven this, of course, plenty of times in a lot of these tracks before. Driving with a faulty wing in F1 2020 is one of the most frustrating things, almost more frustrating than an open lobby on multiplayer.
It is annoying, but if you can handle due to the amount of damage, it will not affect you, it couldn't affect you at all. If it is really, really bad, of course you do have to pit. But I have drove this track many times with a bit of a broken wing. I have managed to recover. I just kept keeping on driving and got a decent amount of points, but the choices that you make is up to you, and that's how you use your strategy. Bias, ABs, of course. We'll let out the pitch due to the front wing change and pitted for the softs. We have got Spain next. Do you think that's going to be more of a competitive race than today's?
I don't know that Spain ever really produces much competitive racing. I think probably more competitive than today. There were plenty of competitive moments. It was just not the cleanest drive of any race I've ever seen by any means. And the problem is these drivers need to better understand if you're going to retire from the session out of frustration, try to do it in a place that isn't going to cause a safety car. 3 safety cars on a dry race because of frustrated retirements is a bit excessive to me. So if anything, if the drivers can just keep their heads about them, any racing should be better than this, but hopefully Spain can be better. Do you have high hopes for Spain? We should probably be commentating again together next week, based on how the commentating schedules looked.
Yeah, I hope we do. It has been very good for both of us, as we have both been watching other people and being more excited due to the racing today. Racing Spa, we got the chicane in Sector 3 near the end, where a lot of people do go off, do crash, but hopefully it's more competitive than today's. But it's still been very competitive, especially in qualifying. If you haven't seen, you did try during the race, but you gotta give it to the lads at Ivan.
And we should say there is a break in next week, so over the holidays there will be a break weekend in Spain. Round 4 of Tribune Racing League will occur on the 3rd of the new year.
Yes, as it is.
A week off.
Yeah.
Back to racing.
Well, I do believe you'll have the New Year on the Sunday. Then you have Christmas next week. But I just want to say I hope everybody has a good Christmas next week from the Tribute Racing League and all, and hope that if you're in like Tier 4, I just hope you enjoy it and enjoy it best as you can.
Absolutely. From everybody at Tribune Racing League, me, I know you just said so, Connor, everybody around the community, our deepest concerns are with everybody in the UK and London especially as they head into Tier 4, and hopefully you can find some enjoyment in this holiday season, the last couple weeks of the year. And you know, if F1 is how you find enjoyment, thank you for watching along with us at Tribune Racing League. It has been a race. Not sure it's been the best race for those watching along. It may be exciting with all the safety cars, and I'm sure Connor and I have kept you slightly entertained along the way. But we will hopefully have more racing for you and some more positivity after the first of the year. Connor, do you want to close us out with these last couple laps we're on? Is there anybody we should be checking in with? They're all pretty far spread apart.
I've just noticed that the McLaren and, well, EDMG is actually very close to FIFA Legend, but still has a time penalty, so I don't think EDMG is going to be too concerned about it, but we'll have to try to speed up the best we can. But as we're EB, fifth, I think he'll be happy, but AB broken. He's going to be questioning himself. Was it worth hitting for the softs? It probably was due to the maybe the amount of wing damage he did have and was concerning. But his P6 will pick up the points, of course. And as I already said, Immortal's going to be happy after he's on his last lap. And he's going to be very comfortable in the lead before heading into the next year in 2021. As he's probably going to be over 30-point lead. And he's going to be very happy with today's race. As he's been very consistent. As it ends up to turn 5 and 6 and enters into sector 2.
I really have to give it to Immortal 12. I mean, obviously we've been stroking his ego all race. There was some concerns about his confidence versus cocky level, but this guy knows Netherlands better than anybody else on the track, and it's shown today. Easily driver of the day. You know, no penalties, no faltering. One poor restart saw him fall behind a little bit, but he, kept his patience, and is going to finish this final lap almost 6.5 seconds ahead of Biblical PC in second place.
And wins wrong. As you are today's race when it is Immortal 1-2 F1 in the arena as he wins, as AB actually picks up another penalty, but doesn't concern any of the racing points. As I just want to quickly say thank you for the support today, and if you are interested, do click in the Twitch description if you are interested in joining Tribune Racing League. Enjoy the day. Just go to EDMG 4494. So congrats.
Good recovery from him, understandable. Congratulations to him. Thank you so much today, Connor. It's been a hell of a time. I hope you'll have me commentate along with you next time. You're kind of one of the head commentators around these parts, as you commentated yesterday. It was great to do it with you. I hope you have a great holiday season. We'll get the lineup here in a second, but I just want to say thank you from everybody at Tribune Racing League. That's at Tribune_Racing_League on Instagram. You can find me. My name's TJ Gagne at F1A_review on Instagram. Connor, if you want to give yourself any shout outs as we watch this podium, but just a huge thank you to everybody today. Might not have been the most clean race, but I still had a pretty good time watching it.
Yeah, we did. Also, we have got a YouTube channel. I believe it is same as the Twitch, using it as Tribune_Racing_League. Obviously, we want to wish you a very good Christmas from all the Tribute drivers and all the people that have put great work into this F1 community. As I want to thank TJ for, I believe, if I did say your name correctly, thank you for helping me tonight, commentate with you, and it was very good.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Connor. We'll go through your lineup as we've got just 15 seconds left here. Immortal 12 finishes in the Reynolds in first. Biblical PC in second in the Williams. EDMG driver of the day in the McLaren in third, followed by FIFA Legend, who doesn't struggle with the penalties. He stays ahead of PB715 in the race in the Red Bull, and AB Bloken in sixth with the Williams. Everybody else a couple laps behind, or DNF, or disqualified. Again, thank you so much to everybody. Thank you, Connor. And we will see you in the new season. From everybody here at Tribune Racing League, have a good holiday.